welcome back to Melanin Magic.
Hi, everybody.
Woo-woo.
Welcome back.
Today we have another special guest, Olivia's friend, Shannon. Welcome.
Mrs. Shannon.
Hi, everyone.
Me and Shannon, how long have we known each other?
5 years.
Has it been 5 years?
Probably 6 because I met you before we became friends.
Oh, yes.
In
okay.
passing.
Okay. So, yeah, like me and Shannon worked at the same place. Should we name drop our job?
No.
Okay. That's
Was
fine.
it a bad job?
We worked in the social work field. And before we actually had the same job, which is funny, we were at like a meeting for 2 different jobs that we weren't even at the same job at, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we were just having a whole conversation in the bathroom and kind of linked up. And then I got a job at the same place she was working at. And then we've been friends ever since. So that was that. I was like, I'm going to tell you where I was working at, the Family Unfocused. And that place was trash. But anyways.
Well,
But I was working at the house.
you know what? We don't work there anymore. We're moving forward, moving past. So
Yes.
today's episode, the reason why we brought Shannon in today is because we are going to be talking about wife life. And since I'm the single one and Olivia is married, she was like, well, let's bring on one of my married friends so we can kind of talk about it. And since we're all about, we always want to do episodes where someone can relate to the subject matter. So,
Right.
so we brought Shannon in. So dive into it. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to throw my 2 cents in every 2 seconds.
No, I feel like this topic was important to me because I don't really feel like I got married that young, to be honest. I mean, we were 27, but I was the only married friend of all my friends when I got married, with the exception of Shannon. I met her the same year we got married.
Mm-hmm.
And Shannon was already married for like 5 years at that time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were married for a while.
Oh,
Because I remember at work, like, everybody was always so shocked every time Shannon said she was married. Like, so me and Shannon was like somewhat of the youngest of our little office.
Yeah, we were the young.
We were the youngest of our office. So I feel like every time you told somebody you're married, they're like, you're married?
Yeah.
So anyways, I think that it's just important to talk about it because I feel like when you do get married, when you're in your earlier 20s or mid 20s, it's something that you're just like not really prepared for. You're not prepared for how your life is going to change. You're not prepared of how, I don't know, I feel like you go from like, I guess a wife from a girlfriend to fiance. My fiance stage was, I feel like, short, personally. I didn't really feel like a fiance or if it was going to change anything because I was wedding planning, which was super stressful and a whole other story. But did you feel like it was a big jump from fiance to wife or girlfriend, fiance, wife?
So for me, it was a little different, I feel like, because
Mhm.
I was girlfriend, baby mama, fiance, then wife. So we were like,
all she said we covered all the categories. She was like, we took care of all of it.
so we were like living together, doing that wife thing, but I wasn't, the official wife.
Okay.
But I
Yeah.
did feel like it was there. But
Yeah.
I definitely needed that ring and that title and that paperwork in order.
And your wedding. You had a whole wedding.
Yeah, I had a wedding and all of that. That was cute. But it wasn't official. So we did have to make it official. And
How old were you guys when you got married? Because I don't know
I
if
was
you.
gonna say that
Some
next.
people do, like, they say don't ever ask them my age. So I'm like, I don't want to ask her age, but
uh,
when you got married.
I got engaged at 22. I got married at 24. The same year I graduated college. I graduated late. Same year I graduated college is the same year I got married.
Okay.
So you guys, that's pretty young. But I mean,
Yeah, it is, and I do feel like I know. Well, I didn't know this until it happened at work, and somebody had asked you, "Did you get married for that reason?" And you said that like people ask you that all the time, and I was like, "So this man can't just marry you? He got to marry you because you had kids," which is again another thing that I feel like is a misconception because so many people are baby mamas and are not married. So the fact that people like assume that y'all had to get married because y'all had one kid at the time.
We just
two?
had one
Y'all only
kid.
had one.
We had
Yeah.
one kid, and they were like, "Did you beg him to marry you because you had a baby?" And I'm like, "No."
So insane.
I mean, I do feel like a lot of people make that assumption, but especially since you guys were so young, I suppose they're like, oh, getting married out of wedlock or whatever the hell. Like, what is it?
Yeah.
No, that's kid
Yeah.
out of
Having
wedlock.
a baby out of
shotgun
wedlock.
wedding. That's what it's called, shotgun wedding.
Yeah,
But,
that
like,
is.
so like, did you want to get married, or was it like, I'm okay with this, or like at 22, were you like, yeah, this is it? Like, because I feel like everyone has like timelines. Like me personally, like I always in my head, I didn't think I was gonna be 30 years old, still single. Like I thought I was going to be married, engaged by 25. Like that was my age. I was
Yeah.
gay. I was at
I
25 was my
feel like
scary
when you're
age.
younger too, everybody thinks that. Because I feel like
Yeah.
when we were younger, 25 didn't feel like 25 until we got to 25. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, hell, even now I'm still like I'm young. Like what the hell? Like I mean, yeah, I do want to get married, but it's like I mean, it's not like I don't look at it like oh my god, like I'm gonna be getting married at an older age. You know what I mean? But it's just like, so did you want to get married like at 22? Like was that the like plan?
So when we got engaged at 22, no, I was not ready to get married. But when we by 24, I was like, this is someone I see myself with for the rest of my life. What are we waiting for? Type of thing.
All right.
And so I not asked him, but I kind of told him like, yeah, I want to plan a wedding in Miami this summer, and he agreed. So that's how that went down.
Oh, you guys
And
had a destination wedding?
yeah, we had a
Yeah.
destination wedding. It was in Miami. You know how everybody said they're gonna go, but they didn't go. But whatever. But yeah, it was destination. It was beautiful. It was so beautiful. It was very hot. It was on South Beach. It was really nice. It was cute.
Y'all would be
I
cute.
love that. I always say destination weddings are the best because you can trim down your guest list so much.
For
It's
sure.
like all the crazy people want to come, like they probably not gonna come. And
Yeah.
it makes it a little bit more intimate. I don't know. Like my dream is to do destination. I don't want to get married like where all
Yeah,
my
I enjoyed it. Like you said, it cuts down the guest list. It cuts down all the drama too, like you
Mhm.
said. And we had a reception. I liked it. I don't regret the way we got married at all. Like
Nah, if I had to do it over, I would do a destination one for sure. Because it just make life so much easier. For sure. I definitely would have did destination. I know a lot of people who do it. And I think when I first got married, I was like nervous to do a destination wedding. Also because both of our families are here. But yeah, if I had to do it over, for sure, destination wedding. So I guess my second question would be, what do you think is one of the biggest challenges that it is either consistent or always like y'all fix it and then it comes back in your 10 years, y'all been together for what, 15 years, married for, I know, a long time, right? I mean, because you're only 30.
You was funny. She was like
32. I'm 32.
32, yes.
No, we ain't been together that long.
Y'all been together for a third
Since
of
I
your
was
lives.
19. Since I was 19.
But isn't that crazy to say you've been with somebody for a third of your life and you're only 32? Because me and Mike have been together for a third of our lives and I'm 33.
stop,
So
baby, stop.
That's crazy.
You got the math down packed.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
The numbers.
The numbers, the third, the fourth, a fifth, yes, a third of our
What's
lives.
a reoccurring issue?
Yeah, like something that you feel like marriage comes up consistently.
Well, that's a tough one.
I feel like with us, it's communication because we have smaller children. So I feel like with us, something that's always coming up is how we either forget to communicate or what we said to one another or how finding times to communicate or talk about certain things because we get so caught up in parenting. Parenting takes up a lot of our time, which, before we had kids 3 years ago, it didn't. It was just us. So it was easier for us to sit down and talk about whether we're talking about finances, whether we're talking about whatever we're talking about.
Mhm.
It was easier to have that conversation and not be so interrupted. But
Mhm.
now parenting takes up such a big bulk and it adds just extra stress, tired, time. So that's something that I feel like we're constantly, always working on is how to communicate, when's a good time to communicate. Because I feel like, with Mike is terrible with addressing a situation at a bad time. I'm a big person with like timing. Like if I'm in a bad mood, now is not the time to talk about something that is going to irritate me. So we're going to have to, shelf it and talk about it when I'm in a better mood. And it doesn't have to be like weeks. It could just be tomorrow. Like, because then I'll be mentally prepared. Like, okay, let's sit down and talk about what we were supposed to talk about yesterday. It's just yesterday wasn't the day. Parker was throwing tantrums all day. My girls were getting on my nerves. It's just not the time. You know what I mean? So I think for us, that's been something that we're constantly working on. And I know we constantly will because I feel like it's just always a work in motion. Yes, work in progress. Yep.
I agree. I would say our issue is dating. Like he will go 2 months without taking me on a date, and I'm a date girl. Like I love to get dressed and go out. And you see your face, that's because you're a Leo, so we like to go out. We like to be seen. I like to get dressed. I like to be cute, and I tell him this. He'll be like, "Oh, work. Oh, I'm tired," and he'll just let life take its course. And I'm just like,
and you gotta keep
"Okay,
it
no
fresh.
date, no ass. Can we cuss?
Yeah.
Okay, no dates, no ass." So until I get my good date, you're not getting no ass, and that's what happened. We literally went through this back in January, and I had cut him off, so we end up. he had like a work trip in
Yeah,
Cali.
he was so cute.
So I met him in Cali, and that's when we went. We did 3 dates out there, and that's when he was able to redeem himself. Because otherwise, I had cut him off. I was done. I was like, nope. Because I like to feel special. I like to dress up and get cute and go out.
I think that like obviously like in my like the way I look at like how like my marriage should be, I do feel like especially when you have kids, you do forget to date. Like that's a big thing that that as a couple, especially when it's been 10, 15 years, however long, you forget because you get comfortable. You get comfortable
Mhm. Yep.
in your relationship. And I feel like, yeah, marriage is it's work. It's a job. Like it's a job just like everything else. You got to get up. You have to be present. You have to be active in that relationship and keeping it going. You got like you can't like your car need gas. Well, Olivia car needs to be plugged in at night.
Charge.
You gotta charge it. That's what you gotta do with your relationship. And dating is a big part of that. Like taking that time. Like I always like again, I'm always like thinking about the future and I'm like how I would like my relationships to be is like at least one date a month. You know, definitely do a trip. Like even if it's just like a small like getaway, a staycation, like every 3 months. Big trip every 6 months. Again, Chad, I'm reaching, honey. I'm reaching.
I agree though.
And then like because I feel like you're gonna always you're going, especially women. You're a wife. You're a mom. You're a business person. You still want to be a girlfriend though, and you still want to be treated like a girlfriend. And like you want those gifts, you want that wine and dine, you want those, you want to feel special. So it's important to make sure that your husband is being active, and if that's what you're communicating to them, like, bro, hello. Cut the cookie box off. You get no cookies. The cookie jar is closed now. Now it's gonna be sealed because you don't know how to act. Put the cookies away because now, like, why am I asking for a date? You should know that. Take again at least once a month. I'm not saying like, and you don't have to do anything big. Like I feel like small things again, especially when you have kids. You know, finances is not. You know, you obviously you're saving money for your kids, and I know that like guilt when you're like splurging on like a big dinner or something. It's like we should be buying this for the kids. We could be saving up for the kids. So I'm not saying do crazy big every month. But definitely like
it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. Like we went to see Creed back in March, and that was like one of our best dates. I had a great time. That movie was so good. Michael B. Jordan,
your man, my man.
He did a wonderful job, and I enjoyed the movie. So it doesn't even have to be like you said. It doesn't have to be a $300 bill every time we go out,
girl. Because those hit you hard.
It do. The credit card be like,
anybody else, I mean, I know people get it like that, Chad, but we ain't get it like that. So we can't do $100 every week. Every month. That's a little aggressive. But
me and Mike went on a date. I like did a TikTok on it because I just couldn't even believe we spent $300. We went to Woo's house. Like, why was
there last week?
It's not even that expensive. So I don't know what the hell you guys get.
It was $145. We both got 2 drinks, and then we got the hibachi. Yeah, it was $145. So that's not even including tips. So it was just a lot. Oh wait, no, they didn't include the 20%. They included something. But anyways, like I think we left spending $160. Like, and then we went bowling, and that was another like $60.
When did bowling become so expensive?
No clue. I don't know because I was shook
for real. Because bowling used to be like one of my top like hobbies when I was younger.
That's what I thought too. No, bowling was $60. And that was not including the shoes. Girl, it was. I was like, okay.
Girl, where did y'all go, honey? You better get on Groupon, y'all. I'm planning your next date.
Girl, it was at Oakline. Which was at Oakline. We weren't even in downtown Chicago. We were in Arena Lanes in Oakline. Like, and then Woo's house is what, in Evergreen Park. So it wasn't even super fancy. Like, yeah, it was a $300 date night. Which, granted,
again,
I mean,
no Groupon and got you a Groupon for bowling. And yes, you can grab a Groupon for bowling. You could grab a Groupon for Woo's. They be having like little coupons. Girl, let me plan your next date. I got you. You will not be spending $300.
It was super last minute too, though. It was like, sometimes we don't always get to like plan it. Like it was just super last minute. Like even today we're going somewhere and we're just going in the neighborhood because it's just last minute. But like, I guess that kind of leads into another thing I wanted to talk about is when you were saying like, hey, you say we don't go on no dates and you don't get no cootie cat. Like, expectations is a thing. Like, I feel like in marriage, I don't know if it's the men or the women, or I guess it could be one or the other, but always feeling like you have to. I feel like yes, you make time for sex because a sexless marriage is, to me personally, not a healthy one. Like I'm no psychiatrist, but I would just think that if you're in a marriage and you've gone months and years without having sex,
Who the hell going months and
It's,
years
it's,
without having
it's,
sex?
time, like, it's time to hang it up.
Yes.
Flat screen.
But there are people that go months for
Question though, how often is too often, or how what do you think is a good medium for the amount of times you
a
guys
good
like
happy medium. Honestly, realistically, for me, I say a good 3 to 4 days a week.
Oh my God.
That's not enough?
That's a lot.
three? I say three. I say
3
three.
times a week?
3 times or 3 days. That's a difference.
3 times a week.
I would say 2.
Hey, I ain't judging no fucking
Well, no,
body.
I mean, everybody's different. So, I mean, and yours is
You
3,
know
mine
what,
is 2. Mine were
Taryn,
less
I'm going to
3.
be totally honest with you. If he's doing what he's supposed to do, dating me, treating me right, making me feel good, you can get it.
Yeah.
But if I'm stressed at work and I'm not going on my dates and the kids stressing me out, like that, all of that factors in. Men
For
don't
sure.
know that and they get
Yeah.
so mad when we discuss this.
Right.
But it's like all of that factors into how our libido goes because
Right.
it takes a lot to get this engine running.
Yes, girl. Room. Yes.
Like little stuff can just like turn you off. Like it's like little shit. Like it's like you're not even like I don't know. Like it's like you ain't even fucking take the garbage out. You don't even like little stuff that you just be like, and it's like, and then if it builds up over time, and it's just like you look at the motherfucker like,
yes,
like I want you to touch me.
For sure. And that's the thing too. I feel like one thing that if I ever had to give anybody a tip, like building up, I know it's realistic because it happens in everybody's relationship, whether you're married or not, but build up never helps any situation ever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, obviously you don't want to address it all the time when I was talking about earlier about like timing, but don't let it go like days because then you piss. So like, I feel like in that week of time where you're trying to have sex 2 to 3 times a week, if you're pissed the whole week because he didn't wash the dishes and take out the garbage, or your kids were stressing you out, or work stressing you out, then y'all not gonna have sex that week because again, your libido is down. You don't want to be bothered. You don't want anybody touching you. And then like obviously menstrual week, like that's a week where you're not having sex. So that's what I mean. Where I feel like
I mean, some people do.
Some people do.
Non-judgment free zone because some people be like they don't care. They
put the towel down.
Yeah, some people do. It's not vibe at all, but hey, again, I know some people do, like for sure. And I know that, like I know Taryn, you were saying earlier, like who's going weeks or months. I know so many couples that go weeks and months without doing it.
I would say weeks, especially when stuff is getting life be life and child. You
literally.
Like I swear I feel like it's like you 1 minute you good and bam, then the next bam you get your ass beat by life. So sometimes like it takes a minute for you to, so if it's weeks, I don't think it's anything wrong with that, especially if things are going on. But I definitely like if it's been a month, this is something. I'd be like, okay, babe, so why we ain't had sex?
Now that does deserve a check-in. Like,
yeah,
what are we doing?
After a month, it deserves a check-in. But again, like sometimes I do feel like just
like as far as a month, like no touching, no oral pleasure, like nothing.
That's a little much. That's a little aggressive.
Or also just intimacy. Intimacy does not always have to be physical and sex. Like, just sitting on the couch watching a movie. Like, I feel like you and Jerron are definitely big movie people, and so are me and Mike. So that's like an intimacy session for us, just cuddling. And Mike's love language is physical touch, which also leads me into marriage, like just marriage life or relationship in general. Knowing your significant other's love languages, because obviously you can have more than one, and also they can change. Because I feel like I don't think mine was ever physical touch, but since I've had children and they're always touching me, I normally don't want to be touched a lot all the time. It has changed, and it never used to be like that. So, but I always have to accommodate.
Girl, you ain't never want to be touched.
I was thinking this. I'm like, you like being touched now?
I don't. I mean, but it's like, okay, so if I had to put a number on it, like before kids, if I wanted to, like, it would be like at a 5. I'm like, okay, well, but now kids, now it's at a 2. That's how like it's drastically to me dropped, because I mean I've never been like a physical touch person. I like to be touched, don't get me wrong, because I like to be craved. I've never like I don't like to date anybody where I feel like, okay, well, why are you not touching me, or wondering why.
Yeah, you want to ass slap.
Yes, exactly. I've never dated a man who's been like that. So I like that part. I like to be like wanted, but I don't like to be like, touching all the time. I'm just but I like to kiss. So it's just different. It's different. I don't know. But I do think that like knowing your significant other's love language and knowing when it changes is important. So yeah. Like, what are your love languages, Shannon?
I think all of them. That's how, like, I hope that I know like Jerron is the guy for me because he fulfills all. He knows I'm a cuddler. I love to be touched. I
You
loves
are.
affirmation, so he compliments me. I love me some damn gifts. What's the other one?
Um, isn't it
Words
communication?
of
So
Co-
mine is
Communicate, text me,
acts of
whatever.
acts of service.
acts of service is another one. Yeah,
Yep. Do
I
he
love
do
acts of
my laundry
service.
for me on as a favor or
Yeah,
something like that?
because you hate
Yeah.
doing
That's
laundry.
how I know he's the guy for me. Like him, he's a simple guy. He likes to be touched and he loves gifts. I can do that. I can touch you and I can use some gifts. Here you go, sir.
And you're a good gift giver.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So
In addition to though, like knowing your partner's, being like knowing your partner's love language and them knowing yours, but you also have to know how they like to receive and give love. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
yes.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like, yeah, like for me, like I'm not a I'm not a physical touch like I don't you I my one of my love languages is physical touch, but the way I do show love is touching. Like I like to touch. I like, grab hand, holding hands, and obviously I love a good makeout session. I will
Mhm.
grab your ass, like, especially if I
Right.
got like
Right. Yeah. Same. That's how I am. I'm
but
a gift
and then acts of service, like that's how I show how I care about you, is by doing things for you.
Right.
But again, I mean, that is one of mine, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like some people just like always like correlate it to be like, oh, well, this is what my love language is. Okay, but how do you like to receive love? Like, just
Right.
because, and how do you give love as well?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So like, how do you think that like you give love? How do you guys feel like you guys give it?
I feel like I'm a gifter and I'm an acts of service type of person. I
Okay.
also like to compliment people too. So, but I think my two biggest one would probably be gifters, like, because I like to give gifts for like, Christmas and birthdays, or just randomly if I'm out somewhere and I'm thinking about you and I saw something. So I think I'm a gifter. But I also like to receive gifts as well. So that's like a double whammy for me. But one of the things I feel like is acts of service for sure. Because I like when people do stuff for me, especially if I don't have to ask. That's like winner, winner, chicken dinner in my book. If I don't have to ask and you just do it, like, it makes me feel like you kind of read my mind. Telekinesis. Love it.
Yeah. Speaking
Yeah,
of
no, it's
gifts,
good.
I
I mean,
love
Oh,
at home. But but I like to like show him love, or what is the word?
yeah, like, so you like that you like to receive. You told us how you like to receive love. So how do you like to give it though? Like, how do you
Oh, give
show
it
him
like
like
if he's having a tough day at work, I'll like send him like some nice positive words. Although that's not like
you
his
do
work.
like
He's
words of
not.
affirmation?
Like give him affirmation, let him know that he's doing a damn thing, like he's doing it for the family. Tell him I love him. Let him know that I appreciate him. Give him a gift. Give him gifts. Like what was it? Like 2 weeks ago, I gifted him like some Calvin Klein boxers and like a nice new suitcase, stuff like
ooh.
that. Make him feel good. Let him know that I was thinking about him on my lunch break.
And you want a trip with that suitcase?
It's Cancun, but but yeah, stuff like that. Karen, how do you give love?
Like I said, I think I'm definitely a toucher. I like to touch.
Yeah.
Which is so funny because I don't like to be touched. Like, I mean, I don't mind it, but it's like, I don't know. I just be like,
I feel like you're a hugger though. You definitely hug.
I like to hug, but I'm saying like if someone's like constantly like grazing my arm or like rubbing my arm, I'm just
Oh, okay, yeah,
stop
yeah.
touching me.
What about like a butt rub?
I don't mind a butt rub, like a butt squeeze, but like but again, like I'm learning a lot about myself and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, it
but
changes. It can change for sure.
no, for sure. But
Mhm.
like but I do like to touch. I like to touch like my guy, like, and again, like acts of service. Like, I'm a big person that like I like to show, like, that's how I show you, like, by doing things for you. Like, I'm a very
Mhm.
I want to say like nurturing. Like, I like to take care of people, which is
Mhm.
like it's like a flaw a little bit because some people don't deserve to be taken care of. But
Mhm.
I do like to take care of people. So like if I see you down or whatever, I'm trying, like, I want to brighten your day. I want to do something that's gonna make
Mhm.
you happy. And like that's
Yeah,
kind of like that's how I
I feel
show
like acts
up.
of service
But
is big for you. You definitely are acts of service type of person
yeah.
for sure.
And then
Um,
like the way that I feel like my love languages are, like, I would like to receive. Definitely a words of affirmation. Like, I love, like, again, I've said this so many times in our podcast. Gas me up, baby. Tell me. I look good.
She's so stupid.
Like, I love it. I love seeing gas stuff. So give me some words of affirmation. Tell me, like, oh,
And I
really?
think that's important almost in like any relationship. I feel like a man should always be gassing up his wife, girl. I just think that that's just
You know what's funny? Because she reminded me of it when I
hmm
first met you. You was like, Oh, I can't be with somebody that doesn't call me beautiful.
No, I can't. I cannot be with somebody who does not call me beautiful.
And you was like so shocked. We
Yes.
were talking about one of my friends. You was like, oh, I can't be with somebody that don't call me beautiful.
Or like critiques you. You know what I mean? Because I have been with a man who's like critiquing me, like, oh, this is wrong or this is wrong. No, it's not going to work. Obviously, it didn't work. But it's just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want you to be that person. I just feel like that is such a man's job, whether y'all are married or not. If y'all are together, you are supposed to make your woman feel beautiful all the time. Like, Mike is so good with that, even when I know I'm looking like a scarecrow. Like, he's always going to find something to compliment me. Also, my dad does that too. Even like till this day, I'll go to my mom's house looking like a scarecrow and he'll find something. And the funny thing about my dad is that, like, you know, he won't tell me my hair look cute or something when it's a hot mess. He'll be like, oh, that coat look nice on you.
Some random.
You find something to compliment. That's all. That's what you need, honey.
I'll be
You're
like,
I
thank
know,
that.
I know I'm not looking like I should be, but you gonna find something beautiful about this today. I
Yes,
love
you
that.
can find something. I'll be like, thanks, Dad. Now see my mom, then she'll be like, why your hair look like that? Mom,
You know, it's always the mom.
it's always the mom. Always. Okay, so I think
so
one of the things too that I wanted to talk about too is gender roles. Do you feel like when in your marriage, does society expect gender roles or just in life? Because I feel like cooking, cleaning, laundry, you said that you don't do laundry in your marriage, like you hate it. So Jerron does it, which is great because, you know, you're picking up the slack. And I think that's something that when you're in a relationship, especially with y'all live together, that's one of the reasons why I think that living together before marriage is super important because you need to see how he expects you to be a wife or even just a girlfriend or fiance, whatever y'all doing. That changes the dynamic of your relationship because I'm no Susie Homemaker. Let me just say that. And I don't want to be a Susie Homemaker. I want us to be in this together. We're supposed to be a partnership. Or like if I'm with somebody, like, so for instance, like I think we've talked about this several times. Like Taryn's a big baker. So, you know what I mean? Like what if I marry somebody who wants me to bake, you know, cookies and brownies and I'm terrible at it? Like, then it's not going to work because that's
Girl,
not
you can go to the bakery and go buy some. That's all. That's how it's gonna work. But like, wait, we fake
but what if he wants it like
go to the bakery
Mm-hmm.
and
what if he
pretend
wants it homemade?
for you.
That's something I got to talk about because,
Yeah.
like, the laundry thing was already noted before we even got married because we lived together prior. As
Right.
you mentioned, as you say, that's a good idea.
Right.
Because I can't do laundry. It's overwhelming. Like I get so intimidated by the laundry. It will sit in the washer and get mildew. Like I cannot
That's
do
happened to
it.
me so many
I
times.
cannot do it, and he knows that, so he picks that up for me. So I don't mind cleaning. I'll do so. We split the cooking. That's to be honest.
Same.
Raising the kids or whatever. Take the dog out. I don't mind that. I will do anything if I don't have to do freaking laundry.
Yeah, same.
But I do my own.
Okay.
I do my own, but he does the children's.
With gender roles, though, so this is my thing. Okay, so you know how, so like for instance, Olivia, now you've been a stay-at-home mom for a couple months now. Do you feel like Michael expects more for you, like as far as taking care of the home now because he's the primary breadwinner? Do you feel like you know, like, or and you say yes, okay? Because I'm just like, I feel like that's the problem. Though I feel like with stay-at-home moms, like, don't get me wrong, like, you know, yeah, I'm home, but I think men forget how freaking hard it is to raise
being a mom. Yeah.
So they think that you just home twiddling your thumbs, you on Instagram, you just like dee. But it's like you're chasing after. You have two little small children at home, so yeah, I can't have a meal waiting for you when you get here. Like the house is a fucking mess. So I do feel like I don't want to say men take that for granted, but I just don't think they really fully understand. Like they think they're like, oh well, I'm going out, I'm making the money, the least I can do, you come home and everything's perfect. But it's like, bro.
Yeah. And you know what? With us personally, that took a lot of conversations. He's been so much better about it now because with Mike's job, he gets to come home for lunch or dinner. And, you know, sometimes it's dinner, sometimes it's not. It just is what it is. Like yesterday, it wasn't dinner. We had to put the kids to bed and he will pop him a pizza in the oven before I can say boo. So, but it did take time to get that and to like, I think society to kind of get to the point that like you're not expecting me to cook every night because that's just it's not happening.
It's not really.
He also knows because I've been like December I took 2 vacations, one with Shannon and one with you, Taryn. So like he was with the girls 2 days and he realizes how hard it is to be home all day with 2 kids and have to do everything. Like so I think that's important knowing that like yes, I'm a stay-at-home mom, but once you put my shoes on and you realize what I do all day, it's not just sitting on Instagram, you know, or taking selfies or whatever the case may be. Like I'm on my feet for 12 hours running around constantly doing stuff around the house. And whether it's clean or not, it's still like I'm still washing dishes all day or picking up, you know, toys or whatever the case may be, changing diapers or whatever the case may be. So I think in our relationship, it changed a lot when he was home alone all day with the girls, or even when he's like off. Like he's very, very hands on, and he realizes how hard it is. I think in some relationships, a lot of relationships, I'm in so many mom groups, their significant others don't help out, and they feel so burnt out all the time. Like even me, you have talked about how many times we get questions about going on vacations and our husbands like watch our kids. Like they're not watching our kids.
My grandma even said something. She always leaving that man home with them babies. Like, girl,
but that happens a lot. And that's not even like a grandma thing. There are people our age who have like, oh my God, you get to go on vacation and leave your husband with your kids. First of all, there are kids. He's more than capable of watching him, and he'll learn. It's a learning experience too, because they're constantly changing, they're constantly learning, but also it just gives you perspective of what a wife does, or a mother, or a girlfriend. And it makes me personally, it's made me put like more, I don't know, I respect women who actually have a job and still are being a mom, because I just feel like being a mom holds so much weight. It's so hard, and I feel like I get overwhelmed. I don't even have a job, so I only can imagine how people do it. And they have kids. Like even I know your sister, she works from home, and I worked from home too when I had my little one, and it was hard as hell. I was like, I don't understand how people can do this and still have. I mean, granted, I know he was like going away to daycare, but still, it's hard when your kid is at home and you're working from home, because you still feel like you have to do stuff. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? You work from home too during the pandemic.
It wasn't even during the pandemic. It was when I was in college. And I was a stay-at-home student, I guess you can call that. Stay-at-home mom student or whatever. And he was going out working. And he would come home, no dinner ready. The house wouldn't even be clean sometimes. And I would like, I let the day get away from me. Because I hated that to-do list. Like, you got to clean up after the baby. But he's going to mess it back up again. You got to put the baby to sleep. You got to get the baby a bath. Then you got to get yourself a bath. Then you got to get up, you got to clean. And then you got to cook. It was so much. It was exhausting.
So I think if you take gender roles out of it and you just are in a partnership, you know what I mean? If I didn't do it, can you, and you know what I mean? You shouldn't even have to ask them. And that's, I think, is the goal. And I definitely feel like it took a lot of work for me and Mike to get there, but we are there. Like, if he knows I'm having a bad day, he can just look in my face and know I'm having a bad day. So then he'll go and start dinner. You want something to eat? You want to Uber eat something? He'll clean the kitchen or whatever the case may be. But that's, again, that takes time. Those are conversations. And that just takes something of you knowing that y'all are doing this together. This is not, you do this, you do laundry, oh, you in this, the laundry room is a mess and we ain't got no clean underwear because you ain't did laundry in a week. Like, no, you know how to do laundry. You're a grown man. Like, at the end of the day, there's certain things that I will say I don't do. Like, I don't cut grass. So,
girl, I ain't cutting no grass. Now that I do put a gender on. I put gender on cutting grass, and
like if I had a man in the house, I wouldn't be cutting no damn grass.
Or taking out the trash.
Oh yeah, you are big on that. Taking out the trash.
Big on taking out the trash.
She has 2 boys too, y'all. So all of them take.
I don't touch trash. My daddy never.
Certain things to me that I'm just not gonna do as a woman, and I mean, I don't know. This, I guess, this is, don't go. The feminist group, don't come after me, please. But like, I'm not dealing with anything with the car. You better figure it the hell out. If I can,
don't pump gas.
Obviously, I deal with all of these things on my own now because I'm single. But if I have a man in my house, like, why? Like, no, not dealing with the car. You figure it the hell out. I'm not taking out the garbage. You figure that out. I'm not cutting grass. I'm not doing any type of work.
Anything that requires labor,
yes, I'm not doing it. No,
if it requires me to get a germ,
I want my picture hung up. But any type of handyman work, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
But you know what? To be honest with you, Taryn, men love that shit. They love taking out the grass. They love doing the handyman. You need your mirror.
They do, because
they want to.
They like to feel like, oh, I did it. Like when you would like, they love that shit. They're like, they popping their chest out like, but did you see that? Do you want to see the grass? I just can't clean the. Like,
no, boy, you
did such a good job, honey. You keep it up, sweet.
My man did that.
My man. No, I totally agree. Like, I do a lot of the like outside because I love planting. So my green thumb kind of came up when we got a house. So I love doing it.
Yeah, but you're not cutting the grass. I don't know. It's something about cutting. Like I cut grass. Like when I lived with Anita, like we was both out there in the yard cutting the grass with the tractor.
We big ass yard too. They have a yard like you. Like, girl, they got a lot of.
That's what we do. My grandma still does it, and I'm not there. She still does it. So it's like I can do it, but again, if there is a man here, why would I do it?
Right. I agree.
You do it.
I agree. Or you could just hire somebody.
We pay people to do that, though.
We pay people now.
Or that too. I don't mind it. I love to pay people too. That's what. Yeah, me and Anita started doing that. Like we was like,
yeah,
okay,
paying somebody to cut the grass for sure.
like pay somebody to cut the grass. It's fine. But I'm just saying, like if it's just like certain things. You know what I mean? It's just certain things.
For sure. I agree.
They are very happy to do it because they feel like the man. They're like, I'm the man. I can.
They are.
Yeah.
My mom
is special, baby.
My mom told me that she like men love to do for women. Like you just gotta let them do it. Like sit back, relax, and do it. And she also told me don't let no man have no extra money. Take that as you will.
I'm just kidding. I definitely feel like my philosophy with men, and this is it. I'm sorry. This is I'm probably my dating pool gonna go real low after this. My money is my money, and your money is my money. Okay.
Boom. Let's get into it.
Yes, finances is a big one. I agree with you. I mean,
I agree.
Again, I think that's I don't know if everybody gets into a relationship and it happens that way. However, I do think there's multiple just conversations. But yeah, no, I agree. I definitely feel like it makes it easier. And you know what? This is what I will say. I think asking other couples about how they do finances have just been very interesting over the past 5 years I've been married. Yes, everybody does it differently. Me, you do it differently. I know my two other friends like Andrea and I won't say his name, but anyways, they do it differently. So many people do it differently. Like some people are on each other's accounts. They have everything together. Mm-hmm. And some people don't. Some people have separate and you're on all of his stuff. Mm-hmm. Some people have separate everything, like separate banks, separate incomes, separate, like they don't join anything except for their house type of thing.
So this is so funny because this was a couple years ago. Jerron and I were at a birthday party for his coworker, and they were talking, and him and his coworker, they were pretty close. And he was telling Jerron how him and I needed to get the same bank accounts and everything on the same thing, right? Mm-hmm. So we were like, no, we're fine where we are now. I'll explain where we are after I say the story. Mm-hmm. And literally a year later, they filed for divorce.
Really? Why?
They were trying to put us on, and they weren't even on. So how ours? I have my own checking. He has his own checking. We have 2 joint savings, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
And we're on each other's credit cards. Some of our credit cards are shared.
That's how it is with us. We're on some of our credit cards. Some I have by myself. Some he has by himself. But we have 2 that are joint. Mm-hmm. Everything in the house is in both of our names. Mm-hmm. I think the cars are in both of our names, and then I'm on his checking account. He's not on mine because I don't have any money, so he don't need to be on mine.
It's very important though to have full access to each other's stuff. Like I mean, again, I have my own checking account, but he ain't. I'm sorry, nope. I need to know what's going on in this because man be doing some real, gotta keep an eye out, honey.
We've seen the Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
Girl. Yes. Enough movies, and we have seen enough situations to know that it's just very important to, again, and just be transparent with what's going on. Like,
for women,
I personally feel like if my husband was like, oh, I don't want you, I would be like, that to me is a red flag. I would be like, so why don't you want, we're married, we're sharing a life together, you're my partner. Why wouldn't you want, why wouldn't you want me to be a part of your bank account? And then he was like, well, you don't want me to be a part of yours. I was like, that's because I got to save my shit for a rainy day.
She just going to sell it.
And I feel like, too, if your husband is making more money than you, he doesn't even want to be on your checking account.
But again, to me, I feel like this conversation, no offense to any of the men out there, but it's going to offend, it's going to offend the people that it rings true to. When you have money and you are a man and who wants to be married and wants to create a life and wants to have nothing but good intentions for the woman that's in your life, this conversation won't even matter.
I agree with that 100%. Real men don't care about stuff like that. Like they're not going to get triggered. It's not going to be a Kevin Samuel situation.
Right.
They just be like,
no, I agree. I totally agree. I agree because I feel like when Mike, he didn't even ask or want to even be on my checking account. Like it was, you know what I mean? Like once we were engaged, it was more like, okay, we got to make sure you get everything that we're together, that they know that we're married, you're my wife or whatever the case may be. Because I was on his checking account before we legally got married. So, I mean, I think, but what I find is interesting is that so many people do not do it that way. And I'm not saying it's a right or wrong because to each his own, everybody does it differently. But I know 4 married couples and four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Two of them don't do it that way. They do their own thing.
They do what though?
They separate. Everything's separated.
What about savings? Anything?
I don't think so. No. I think they're just separate. Also, that leads me into like phones, or passwords on computers, all of that. One of the couples that I know that are married, like they don't have passwords to any of each other's shared anything. Computers, phones, iPads, everything is separate. They don't have passwords to any of each other's stuff. Now, I personally,
What?
yeah, I'm serious.
That's too much.
I'm serious.
Okay, see, my whole thing is this. I'm not bothered with, because I don't really need your fucking password. Because again, if you're gonna cheat, you're gonna cheat. I'm not worried about you. Like if you're going, I'm not. Because guess what? I'm not your mother. We got kids. I'm their fucking mother. I'm not gonna be sitting here policing what you do. I'm going to trust you to be doing what the fuck you need to be doing for my house and everything and for our family. And I'm not about to bring chase up after you. And I'm not gonna sit here and be going through your phone. I don't need it. If you want to share it with me, if you're like, hey, I want you to have my password, that's more, but I'm not going to ask for it. I don't give a shit.
No, I respect that.
Yes.
I respect that. Hey, here's my password. Just if anything happens, if you ever shall need it, here you have it.
That's what I mean.
But to me, to not give it to me at all, like I feel like that's a red flag for me.
Yeah, like and kind of what you're saying, Taryn. Like for instance, if it was like you and your man, and you're like, oh, can I see your phone to call my phone? My phone is locked.
Yeah.
And then you get his phone and it's locked, and you're like, oh, what's your password? And he like, oh, give it back to me so I can put it in.
Yeah.
See?
Now that's a red flag. That's a red flag, Shannon. I'm like, okay, like really, bro. That's because then that means that you're obviously hiding something. Because that's why can't I have your password? Like it's like, but it's just like I'm not going to. I guess like I don't need your passwords to everything. Like if you got a laptop and your laptop closed up and you don't, it is like I don't have the password again. Like well, if I need to get on your laptop and I ask you for it, you should definitely give it to me. If you don't, then, yeah, I will be looking at you sideways. But again, I'm not gonna say like I need to have all your passwords to everything.
Oh no. I would say over time.
Also, like I forget shit. So like even if they'll give me the password, I'll probably fucking forget it. But like,
yeah. But it's still weird. Like we're on vacation we went to Mexico a couple years ago, whatever. And my phone got wet, so I couldn't use my phone the entire vacation. Mm-hmm. So I was using his. I literally had his phone as mine, taking pictures, capturing these moments.
Right.
So that's why I needed his password.
Yeah.
But it's some men that will not do that.
And if they don't want to give you their password or their phone, especially if you're married, baby, you got bigger problems.
I think it's a little off. But I know people who do it. They consider it a privacy thing, and again, to each his own. So I know people who do it though, and I was like, oh,
I feel like that kind of goes back to what I was just saying about the money. Again, if it's a problem, then you got bigger issue.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. And if he's good and y'all are in a healthy, loving relationship,
it should be nothing to hide.
Conversations. These are things that won't ever should not matter. Sure. Like you should never feel like uncomfortable because again, I don't give a damn about you having my phone password. Here, take it. I don't
literally.
Right. Yeah. I feel like
nothing on there.
Exactly. I feel like if y'all are living together, it's not even gonna be an issue. It's just gonna be like, I know your password because you give me your phone. If I lose my phone, you're like, oh, the password is this, and that, and you just know it because it's never been an issue. It's not like
I do think though. One thing though, with that though, I do feel like it is a violation though if you are going through my phone. Because let's say I was talking shit about you and I was like, this raggedy bald head bitch, he ain't got no edges. I can't fucking stand him. I fucking hate this hoe. All of this stuff because we just got some argument. I was just texting my friend, all of this stuff.
Yes, I agree.
And you're like, damn, you just called me every name in the book. See, that's a violation. You shouldn't be going through my messages. I will say that because I'm not gonna go through your phone. Like if I'm in your phone to like take a picture or like you guys are on vacation, I highly doubt you was going through like looking at what he was texting and talking to his friends. Like I think
I don't do that. I feel like I don't even want to know what you and your boys talking about.
I don't even want to know. I would hope you would.
I mean, there are some women that do. Like they go through your phone. Like they was like, my girl be working my phone all the time. I think that's a violation because you don't. So I feel like obviously there's no trust here, and that's a big issue. And and then you see something that hurts your fucking feelings. That's your problem now because I was having with my friend, and I was calling you raggedy because you.
Well, a vent session is a vent session. You know what I mean? Like if I'm venting about it,
I'm gonna go in.
Yeah, I feel like we vent about our husbands when they're irritating us all the time, and I vent to you, Taryn, about Mike all the time. I'm a venter. Let me just say that. So at the time, I will definitely be feeling a way about a situation or husband or Mike at the end of the day, and I mean, I feel that way the next day, or when you read it, or whatever the case may be. So if you read it and now you're feeling away because of some things I said a week ago when you were getting on my nerves, now your feelings are hurt, and that's again, like you said, it's definitely violation of boundaries, and you're using your power for the wrong thing. If you have the power of having, I don't want to say power, but I'm using that word because I feel like if you guys are sharing everything in your relationship, in your marriage, you're using it for the wrong.
I'm giving you that access.
Yes, and you're
misusing it. Yeah, you're misusing that.
Yes, I will say one of the situations that when I was asking this question, this was weeks ago, to that married couple, they got in a car accident, and when he went to the hospital, it wasn't that bad, but when she got to the hospital, they were giving her his stuff, which was his phone, and she couldn't get into his phone because she didn't know his password or things like that. Like, even because he was just at the hospital for a couple days, so at home too, for access to get into like his laptop to kind of just like look up, certain bills or things like that. She didn't know how to do it, nor could she get into it because she didn't have the passwords for anything. And I feel like that's something that's a little awkward because when y'all are married, you should, again, take care of yourself, know how to work the bills, you know what I mean? Like, instead of like, oh, well, I can't get into my husband's phone because I don't even know his password. And I'm sure the nurse is looking at him. I think that's awkward.
Because,
but I mean, again,
so she couldn't talk to him, like when she was in the hospital, he'd be like, "Hey, babe, I need all your passwords." He was like, "No."
When she was going to see him, he put his password in the phone, but before that, she didn't know it.
But why didn't he just give it to her? Like,
exactly,
just already have it type of thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. It makes it awkward. It makes it uncomfortable. And obviously, it's just one of those things.
I don't know your friend. I'm not gonna say nothing.
Wait, before we let this topic go, how do you feel about the sharing of the location?
Oh, some people do that and some people don't. So like me and Mike did it for a little bit, and then it kind of like it's expired before you can do it like indefinitely. You know what I mean? So yeah, we definitely used to share locations, and I know some people. I know you and Jerron do, right?
Yeah, we share location, but I would even forget like the whole house. It's our whole house. We share locations with each other.
I have friends that are just with their significant other, like a boyfriend or whatever. They're not even married and they share locations. So I know a lot of people.
For me, it's definitely safety. It's not like where he good type of thing because he really don't even beat on shit. Right. But it's literally safety. Like he gets off at 1:00 in the morning. I want to make sure he's good, safe. But other than that, I don't be checking for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sharing my location unless I'm going where I'm going. Like, unless, let's say I'm going on vacation with going on a girls trip. I will totally share my location with my husband, my significant other, because again, girls trips, you just never know. Obviously, bitch, we went to Vermont. You get, what happened there. So it's like, there is. I definitely say if you are going on a girls trip or going out of town, even if it's a work trip, whatever it is, definitely share your location. But we in the same state, too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's very like each own thing.
Because why? Like, why do I don't need to know people are like, leave me alone. Like, I don't want to be bothered with you.
No, like some people abuse it. Just don't abuse it. Don't be pulling up where I'm at. Like, that's weird.
So a family member in my in-laws, they obviously are divorced now, but they used to share a location, and if he wasn't like home in a certain period of time, she'll be calling him. So that's when I think that's what you mean when you're like abusing.
Yeah.
That, if he want to go out for a drink and he tell you that, hey, I'm going out to drinks, with a guy, she needs to know exactly where he is. She's checking the location.
I'm not doing that.
That's abusing it for sure. And I definitely feel like me and Mike share it when I'm going on vacation for sure. And it's always for like, it's like 3 days or 7 days or something, then it expires and then that's it. So, I mean, yeah. That's to each their own thing for sure.
I mean, that is to each his own. I don't judge people for whatever, like as far as like that. Because again, I totally get what you're saying. Like with him coming in late, like that makes sense, Yeah. But yeah, for me, this is gonna be a no.
Yeah. I mean, look,
I get it. I totally get it.
I definitely get it.
I'm not about to be. I mean, I do know some people that should though.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Let me share locations, honey.
No, I know you had no.
It's so funny. I feel like
so funny.
My best question. My last question would be, what do you think is the best part about marriage? And I asked about like 4 or 5 couples this question, and a lot of them said somewhat of the same thing. But I'll let you answer. What do you think is the best part about marriage?
The companionship.
Okay.
Like having someone there for you, like forever, all the time. Like anytime I'm having a bad day, my mom pisses me off, my job done pissed me off, I call him like immediately. He's able to talk me through it.
Yeah.
Like he's definitely like my ride or die. Like that companionship is very nice.
Makes you feel
love.
safe.
Yes, it's my safe space. It's very nice to have. What about you?
I feel like going through everything together. You know what I mean? The memories, the life you build. I think that's, to me personally, the best part about marriage. I feel like just these past couple years, seeing Mike as a dad and me going into the new role of a mom and building our family together is not doing it alone. Never feel like you're doing it alone. You have this companionship, like, and we are in this. The goal is to be in it forever.
Yep.
And I mean, we are 11 years in and we just have so many memories, and to be excited to see what the future holds. Like, this is only the beginning, right? If we're trying to live to 90, this is only the beginning. So 60 more years of having the person that you love more than anything other than your children beside you through the good, the bad, the ugly, and the greats, because it's so many good moments in marriage, and then obviously there's hard ones, but also too, I feel like the best part about it is knowing that you didn't give up. That's, I feel like, and I didn't even mention that one. I asked a couple other married couples, and they were like, yeah, knowing that both of you guys are in it, like nobody's giving up. Like, hey, we didn't have a bad couple of days, weeks, or months, because some people have balance. Like me and Mike's first year of marriage was hard.
Oh, it's hard. It's
and
always hard.
It's hard, right? It's hard. So I feel like knowing that you guys are in this to win this type of thing, and everybody's win, everybody's trophy is going to be different in everybody's marriage, because everybody's marriage is going to be different. But I think if you guys can stick it through, because divorce is real and people get divorced all the time, but if you guys can stick it through, that's your trophy. Like, hey, it wasn't perfect, but we're perfect for each other, and we didn't leave. Like, when things got rough, we stayed. So that to me is like the most enjoyable thing.
So I wanted to say something to you because you said something about not giving up. So last week, Jerron and I got into a really bad argument. I'm dramatic, Taryn. I'm super, super dramatic.
So is Taryn.
So
Leo,
I'm like,
Leo.
So I'm like, we're gonna divorce. He's like, what are you talking about? He said, Jewel is a big store. If it's a cleanup on aisle 6, we're gonna focus on cleaning up aisle 6. You don't have to clean the whole store or shut down the whole store because there's a cleanup on aisle 6. I'm like, okay.
I'm dying because he used Jewel. So Jerron used to work with Jewel.
Jewel. But I understood the analogy, and I was like, okay, we just gotta clean up aisle 6. Okay, everything else is all good.
Don't worry about the whole store. Don't worry about aisle 6. Okay, we gotta.
So that let me know, like he's in it. Like you said, not giving up.
Yeah,
he was. Yeah. So yeah, I'm dramatic. I instantly went there. I'm
like, dropping the D word. Another married couple, I asked them, one of those rules is that they don't drop the D word. The D word is not allowed. So I'm like, I'm girl, look.
I'm dramatic.
Again, you're dramatic. You dropping it. And we all know you ain't going no damn where. Jerron knows that too. Girl, he was like, okay, she'll be okay tomorrow. So, yeah, I don't know.
Today. That is so funny. Okay, so before we end this, though, I am going to bring out someone because they wanted to come and give their little 2 cents in about marriage, especially she was a young wife with 3 damn kids. Young wife in the 90s with 3 kids. It was a lot. So, Michelle.
Okay, now.
Girl.
Hi, Michelle.
Hello.
Hey, girls. How are you?
Hey, Michelle. Well, I never call her Michelle. I call her Mickey Mouse.
I'm Mickey. Don't be.
So yes, Melon Magic. Welcome, my mom. This is my mom, Michelle. I talk about her quite frequently.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Right now, and drives me crazy. It's great.
I'm taking over all this except for the bills.
And she's taking over my podcast too, apparently.
Yeah, but you keep the bills.
Okay, thank you so much.
Y'all are so goofy.
So
what are
your
tips?
About marriage, and we're like, these are 2 young wives, and you were a young wife once upon a time ago.
Once upon a time.
All right, so give us the 3 tips, or what are your wisdom? Give me some gems.
So coming from being a very young wife, agree to disagree.
Okay, that's a good one.
And
Create boundaries.
Yes, and forgive. So whatever, if you decide that you're going to, okay, let's say whatever it is, let's say it's something major. If you commit to stay, you have to forgive. You can't forgive for convenience. For sure. You cannot forgive for convenience sake. You have to forgive for, basically for staying, for commitment. You have to be committed. So that would be my 3. And of course, communication.
Thank you.
That right there. So
Wait, what do y'all be doing at the beginning?
I don't know. We go woo woo.
Yeah, woo woo.
Woo
You
woo.
guys seem to be doing a fantastic job. Keep up the good work.
Yes,
Yay! We're
I love to see.
trying.
I love to see black love and
well,
squirrel love.
Well, she's black love and I'm squirrel
young
love.
black women
young
being
love.
loved
That's
well.
right.
I like
Black
to
women
see
being
being
young
Yeah,
loved
I
well.
like that. Black women being loved well. Woo.
Yes,
Woo, woo.
yes, that's a good one. I know. Woo woo. Yes, that is a good one. Well, thank you so much, Mickey. That was great, especially the third one. Being able to forgive, that's a good one. A good one, because I feel
No,
like
you
sometimes
have to.
we
I
definitely
mean, like I said, if you're going to commit to stay, you have to forgive. You know.
yes.
Amen.
Amen.
Not just to be convenient, but to stick it out.
I
Oh
love that. Yeah,
God.
that is a good one. I feel like we need to talk about that. Yeah, that's a good one, Mom. Girl, go ahead. Go ahead, Michelle. Come in with the jam. I like it,
Right.
You
girl.
owe me dinner, girl.
I
I'm
don't.
let her pay for dinner.
Goodbye. Goodbye. I gotta go to work.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
What advice y'all gonna give me? Give me some advice.
I feel like she touched on a lot of them. Do you have any?
No, I'm talking about advice for a woman who wants to get married. Like, y'all have
Oh. I feel like make your own rules with your partner. Everybody does it differently, and you know what I mean. Like you have to you have to stay true to yourself and true to your man, and vice versa. He has to stay true to you. You have to stay true to him. It is only y'all two in y'all relationship. Do not let the outside world give you a whole bunch of nonsense that may work for them, and it may not even be nonsense. It may work for them, and it's working well for them, but for y'all it may not work. So
Everybody's different.
everybody's different. I feel like do what works for your man, your marriage, and your life. That's like the
It's
best
not
advice.
one size fits all.
It's definitely not, girl, baby. It's definitely not one size fits all. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
And have fun.
Yes, have fun. Marriage should not be stressful, and it's gonna be stressful
Well,
moments,
it's
but that's why you have to
stressful.
learn how to have fun for sure.
especially after X amount of years. But
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. No, I definitely agree. I think that everything you should be able to find humor in all the situations, honey. You gotta laugh,
Yeah.
honey. You can't
For
laugh
sure.
through it. I don't know. That's what I'm like I always laugh through my pain, honey. I'm like the whole world be crashing down, but I'm like, I'm just gonna laugh. I'm like, this is okay. This is fine. Everything is fine.
Hannah laughs at her own jokes, so I know you laughed at your own
I'm
pain.
funny.
Too. She's my funny girl.
You are shit. And they, yeah, sometimes
She will crack up, busting up at a joke. It'll be so funny.
I'll be on the floor.
But anyways, yeah, we're gonna end it here. Thanks everybody for listening, and our two special guests, Michelle and
cute.
yeah, it was perfect. Thanks everybody, and yeah, we will.
Thanks for having me. I had a good time.
Oh, thanks for coming. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming. I'm glad that we were able to figure it out and do this together. I was very insightful. Definitely got a lot of good advice. Like I feel like this was definitely help all the wives out there. And I don't know, I got a couple of chuckles out of it. It was fun.
Yeah, no, I thought it was good. I love Michelle's advice. I loved how we, talked about our just relationships and just in general and all the things that I feel like just together we learned a lot. All four of us.
It was good.
It was good.
Thank you guys so much. And thank you for all of our listeners and whoever's watching this on YouTube. Thank you. And we will see you guys again soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace, love, and hair grease, right? Isn't it what Tara says?
That's what that